chosen one.
A future world champion.
Superstar Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, you stay there. You stay there.
There she is. You got it? Big, strong girlfriend.
Welcome to Nashville.
Engaged.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh my goodness, that looks so good. I wish I was there.
There's now only one thing left between Drew McIntyre and WWE Immortality.
Caitlin, do you ever think it's gonna happen?
Never stop dreaming, Drew. Never.
Drew McIntyre is on a mission. An opportunity to face the champion.
Is this where the dream all falls apart?
Drew looks devastated out there.
You've been working so hard for something, and it hasn't happened. You begin to wonder.
Show them who you are.
McIntyre, with one shot to make his final dream a reality.
For the first time in 30 years, WWE have announced that
They
they'll
will
be
be
taking a show
to the United Kingdom. Drew McIntyre is heading home.
It's the thing I've been dreaming about for years.
He's been waiting his whole life for this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the least requested, least demanded, and the least downloaded wrestling podcast, PCW. This could be a long podcast, so strap in and shut up and don't be a little bitch about it.
To the masters.
Ruthless aggression.
Hey peeps, it's your host Semi-Dry Chicken, and welcome to another episode of Podcast Championship Wrestling. Today, we're just going to banter, and we're going to talk Clash of Champions predictions. But joining me today...
Clash of Champions?
Oh, not Clash of Champions. Oh, good correction right there, sorry. Clash of the Castle. Oh yeah, okay. Whoops. Dre, we're off to a great start.
A phenomenal one.
So we're off to a great start. And you know what? He's here. He's here. Welcome back, Dre.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Let's go.
Yeah. And also joining us, of course, you've already heard. Andrew, welcome back.
Yeah, I thought I did the wrong homework for a second. I almost had a panic attack.
I'm just not so accustomed to saying Clash of the at the Castle or Clash. Clash at the Castle. I'm just not used to saying it. It's just such an off pay-per-view, you know.
Yeah. I mean, any old school wrestling fan knows Clash of the Champions.
Yeah, exactly. And us going back to Ruthless Aggression era, it's it's gonna happen. We're gonna get them a little mixed up there. But yeah, guys, we got a lot to talk about. A lot of banter. A lot of things have been changing on the landscape of WWE. And you know what? Maybe not just WWE, maybe other companies as well. But we're going to talk about how different it's been since Vin Man has been out of office, out of the company, and Triple H and Stephanie have been large and in charge. Promos. Promos have gotten better. I mean, it seems like these guys have a lot more free range. They have plot points they have to reach. These seem a lot more emotional, a lot more time, I feel like, was put into these. A lot of the actual characters brought out, and it doesn't feel forced that somebody else wrote it for them and they're just reading a script.
It seems like some of the banned word list is shortened a little bit also. You know, they can say things like, you know, wrestler and wrestling. Commentary has gotten a little better too, I think. I don't think there's those weird pauses anymore where, you know, just Vince is just laying into Michael Cole, you know, or whomever is talking. I think the commentary has improved greatly.
Yeah, definitely. You can tell that since Triple H has taken over the creative, that he's given people much more freedom in terms of how they are on camera. None of that micromanaging that you got from Vince where, yeah, he's feeding the lines to Cole in them and what to say each time. He's letting Michael Cole in them be himself. And you can definitely see a dramatic improvement in Cole's commentary because he's much more free. You can see him reacting much more naturally to things in real time, as opposed to seeming like he's always trying to sell you on something, whether you're buying into it or not. Him and Pat McAfee seem to have much better chemistry together with each other on SmackDown. To your point about the promos, you can definitely tell that. I mean, we've gotten some of the best promo work from some people in quite some time. Most noteworthy, Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre from a few weeks ago when they just went off on each other.
Yeah. That was one of the best promos I think I have seen from those two in a long time. Bringing out Kevin Owens wearing the old KO shirt. I mean, that alone got me like super excited. Like I like. It looks like a lot of these characters' gimmicks. You know, these guys are going back to older gimmicks. I won't say older. Ones that worked, and we're getting hints of that everywhere. You know, it looks like Kevin Owens is going back to the prize fighter. You know, we might even get Pete Dunne back instead of Butch. I mean, I heard that rumor too. You know, it looks like we're getting some changes with like Alexa Bliss. We're getting away from when was the last time we saw the Lily doll? Even though that was a big merchandise thing. I haven't seen the Lily doll in a while. It looks like a lot of these other wrestlers are changing their characters a bit to what worked. And guys are getting their names back. Full names. Recently, Austin Theory got his full name back. Not just Theory anymore.
Matt Riddle is back.
Yeah, yep. All those names are coming back. I mean, overall, you can just see that the product I won't say it's like a complete night and day, but you can definitely see a line in the sand.
Yeah,
of pre-Triple H to post Triple H. The show itself, to me, seems to have a much more natural flow to it in terms of the stuff that's coming. The natural progression of just how matches come about. They seem to come about more organically, as opposed to just being like, all right, here's this segment, then we go to commercial. Okay, here's this match, then we go to commercial. All right, here's another segment, then we go to commercial. Okay, here's another segment. Instead, it's like segments are leading into matches, which is a much more natural flow. Right. Promos are leading into matches immediately, which is a much more natural flow to it. The show itself is more or less, I think, almost every show since Triple H has taken over has started off with a match, as opposed to somebody coming out in the ring and bantering or ranting back and forth for 20 minutes. Maybe a Maybe a few of them have still started off that way, but even if they started off like that, it's almost immediately led into a match. But most of the shows have started off with either an opening match or or some sort of fight, like they've been doing with the Seth Rollins and Riddle angle. And I think it's even been reported by some people that there is legitimately more actual minutes of wrestling on each show now compared to when it was Vince.
Oh, there absolutely is. I'm in fact looking at it right now. It only goes to August 15th, but I got Raw and SmackDown up. You got 25 minutes on the 15th, 23. This is 20 minutes per hour. 23 on the 8th. 26 on the 1st, 21 on Triple H's first show, and compared to the week before, the 18th, 16 minutes. Then you got 21, 21, 22, 19, 18, 16, 18. So SmackDown is the same thing. You got 19, 18, 24, 25. That's when Triple H takes over. Then the week before, you got 16, 16, 7. 19, 15, 16. So, yeah, there's much more wrestling on the actual wrestling show.
Even, the viewership has gone up a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's also
hell
true.
of a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think Vince is thinking? You know, like, just in a short amount of time, how much... I mean, like you said, not massive changes. We've seen small changes, but it's enough to be noticed, and it's enough to keep me interested and coming back every week. I don't know what the hell they're doing with Dexter Lumis, but I'm interested. Like, I have no idea. Recently, I watched NXT, and they're bringing some main roster people over to NXT. And not necessarily to start feuds, but more or less to inspire, I guess. Give them some, words of courage, I guess, going into this pay-per-view they have, because it looks like they're going to be merging NXT and NXT UK together, and they're going to be doing a NXT Europe edition. So, I mean, I'm excited for that, to see merging of the NXT UK title with, the NXT title. I mean, that also is maybe something that Triple H has his hands in, of making that show better again, like not ignoring it. Maybe we're seeing the quality of NXT get better. Are we?
I think
who's running that? Is Shawn running that?
I think Shawn Michaels is doing most of the stuff over at NXT now.
Yeah.
So now, granted, the change to get rid of UK and consolidate into or reform as NXT Europe, that honestly could be more of a Stephanie McMahon decision. That could be coming from more higher up than just creative, because that's a business decision. That's not just a storyline or creative thing. That's a company thing right there. So that could be coming from Nick Khan and Stephanie McMahon in terms of making that decision.
That's a pretty big change too, because I feel like it wasn't so long ago we were talking about NXT Japan and NXT Australia and NXT South Africa.
I got excited for that. Like, we're opening up all these other branches, but then I was like, how the hell do they expect us to keep up with this much content during the week?
There's already,
you know what I mean? It's already heavy, and that's not even including other companies watching AEW and if you dare watch Impact Wrestling or anything else like that. It's every day. It's there's something on wrestling, and if you're one of those devoted fans where you have to watch everything, it's just it's consumes so much of your time.
Well, this week in particular is insane, because you got 3 pay-per-views basically.
This weekend is insane.
In addition to SmackDown and Raw and Impact, I'm not even counting Impact. Dynamite and Rampage, and they have and AEW has a pay-per-view, and WWE has 2, and it's just Jesus Christ.
And there's a lot of stuff going on, but this weekend, but it seems to be that the two companies are heading in opposite directions. Not to try to, change the subject over to AEW, but
no, go for it.
I wasn't really going to go in that direction, because I don't follow AEW as much. It's just that, the word on the street is that there's a lot of, issues they're having backstage, and it seems like I guess the honeymoon period of AEW is starting to get over, and they're starting to deal with some of the more common issues that come with running a wrestling promotion in terms of egos and dissatisfied employees and things leaking out from backstage and becoming public knowledge, and they're starting to deal with that. Where it seems as on the WWE end, it's like, a new sheriff's in town and the sun is shining brighter and the grass has gotten greener and the flowers smell better with Triple H and them in town. And yeah, like they've just gone in completely opposite directions. I mean, Raw's viewership is up since Triple H took over. They're hovering around the 2 million viewers range per week. USA execs are happy and all that. So,
well, the rumor is WWE is starting to call some AEW guys and saying, "Hey, when's your contract up?" Because and AEW in turn has said to them, "Please stop calling our guys" or whatever. But it's not the NBA, it's not the NFL. There is no collective bargaining agreement. They can call all they want. There's nothing that says they can't. Now,
there is no CBA, but I think there is still something about tampering, just because these are performers who are under contract with the company. So they may not exist under like that, that single structure like the NBA or something like that, where team to teams and they have clearly written rules. But I think there may be, if AEW really wanted to go down that route, and if WWE pushed the envelope too hard or got too brazen with it, AEW could possibly still have some legal recourse, just because these are still contracted employees that you're dealing with. So
it's got to make you wonder what would have happened if this stuff with Vince had happened 2 years ago instead of a month ago. Does Keith Lee leave? Does Adam Cole leave? Does Kyle O'Reilly leave? Does Ember Moon leave?
Whose
I'm sure
contracts
there's
are
a
almost
couple
up
of talent
that might be coming over to WWE.
Yeah. Besides Cody, there's going to be another, and there's going to be another, and there's going to be another. And as long as WCW's around and a big force, you're going to see, just like you did with WCW back in the day, you're going to see back and forth, and I'm sure there's going to be guys that ping pong, boom, 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 boom.
Oh, yeah. Assuming that WWE can maintain this momentum and this isn't just a honeymoon phase, that they, that this like really holds and seems like the new normal over there. Oh yeah, you'll definitely have AEW guys when their contract is up looking over at WWE like, I might, test the ground over there. Especially the ones if they're not like the top guys, if they're like mid carders or like you said, guys who used to be in WWE and left and saw everything turn around within months of them leaving, guys like a Keith Lee or an Ember Moon or something like that. Absolutely.
There's rumor they're trying to get Braun Strowman to come back.
No thanks.
I'm thinking of like what free agents that they could even bring back. But yeah, I heard of them trying to get him back. Like, I just think like towards the end of him there, they just booked him wrong. Like the whole change in his entrance music and just I don't know. It just he got goofy towards the end. They ruined him.
Yeah.
Well, they say Bray's coming back any second now.
Yes, I want to talk about that too. Like, what are your thoughts on, or the chances of we see him by SummerSlam?
By SummerSlam, or you mean Survivor Series?
I say SummerSlam.
By SummerSlam next year?
A year, 11 months from now?
Yeah. I mean, that's a long
time. I think we'll see him within a year.
Oh, yeah, I think Bray will if he's coming back, it'll definitely happen before. If Bray Wyatt is coming back, I think he definitely will be back before WrestleMania. If he's coming back. I mean, before WrestleMania or right after.
Well,
because I'm thinking like, what? So they wouldn't use him for Survivor Series, could they? Like that? Is that too soon?
Depends on what plans they have for the people on their current roster and what ideas they have. I just don't see them having. I don't see them having a commitment from Bray Wyatt and then sitting on it for that long. If they have a commitment from Bray, if they've spoken to Bray Wyatt and he's committed and said, "Yeah, I'm willing to come back, I'm down to come back," and they have basically like a verbal agreement, then I think he definitely comes back before the end of the year. I would say no later than the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I could definitely see it.
I see the Rumble being for Cody. I mean, that's his. I think that's his moment. Is the Rumble.
I mean, there's so many moving parts. Are they going to get Rock for WrestleMania? If they do that, the dominoes from that are going to fall.
Yeah. I mean, like that's
but
a lot of moving parts here.
Yeah, but I mean, if they get Rock for Roman if they get Rock for WrestleMania, they pretty much locked in that'll be a feud with him and Roman Reigns.
Absolutely.
So that wouldn't affect too much of the rest of the roster.
Yeah, but what is it for the title? Is it not for the title? I mean,
nah. I don't think it would be for the title. For one, it doesn't need the title, and two, there's no reason if it's for the title. The Rock's not committing back to the WWE long enough to be champion, so that would almost guarantee that Roman Reigns would win the title. So then it would kind of kill the spectacle of the match. There's definitely no need for that. Honestly, I don't even think Roman Reigns will be champion by WrestleMania next year. I think he's dropping the title before then. Just so that way he is free to wrestle The Rock in just a dream match.
Yeah. Speaking of promos this week, did you guys hear the recent one with Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins backstage, and how it got a little out of hand afterwards, and then they were talking crap about each other's family.
Yeah, and I think as much as we were just singing Triple H's praises, I think this is one of the areas where he kind of has not been so great.
Yeah.
And it was good that, they were able to freehand a little bit, but I think they kind of let him go too loose with it. Even if it was being bleeped out, like, people still know that, what's being said, even if there's a beep word in there. And I think there's a limit in terms of how far you can go with profanity, even if it's censored. And I think that kind of for the program that they have, is for them still being TV PG as they claim to be, and apparently the rumor is they're not going to make the jump to TV 14 as everybody had thought. They're not going to make that jump as quickly, given that they're having plenty of success right now staying PG. So they don't really. The word is that they don't see the need to make the change to 14, given that they're having success as PG. So if you're staying PG, that promo kind of falls out of the lines of that. So I think, to me, personally, I didn't have an issue with it, but I think for the product that they're trying to put out and maintain, I think it went a little too far.
I liked it, especially because I like Riddle a lot, but I don't like this goofy doofus routine he's been doing. I like a more serious Riddle, and I kind of liked it. It kind of felt almost, of course it's a work, but it kind of felt is he really say that about his ex-wife? Or, it's kind of blurring the lines a little bit, and I like that personally.
Yeah. And I'm with you on that. I like all that part. I agree with. I just think in terms of just the sheer amount of cussing, I think less is more in that case. Yeah. I'm not saying he shouldn't have cussed at all, but the fact that he just practically went on, fuck you, it just like all you heard was just beep, 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 beep. I'm like, whoa, hold up, calm down. Went a little too far with that.
All right,
you can cuss somebody out without every other word being a bleep.
Well, here I got it for a second. Here, hold on.
And clear.
We good?
Yeah,
good.
Yo, Riddle, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
You talk about my family, man. Let's talk about your family. Oh, wait, you ain't got one because your wife divorced you and took your kids and they don't want to see your bitch ass anymore, huh?
What did you just say?
Yeah, you heard me.
Where are you,
bitch?
Where are you?
I'm here. Come find me.
Dude, I'm not going to beat you up. I'm going to you up, bro. Where the are you?
All right,
where are you?
Come find me,
Where is he? Where are you? Dude, you don't get I'm going to smash your face in.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Keep playing games, bro. Keep playing games. I'm going to you up.
And then Matt Riddle does some heavy breathing for another 30 seconds. But
I liked it. I mean, the guy's not going to be winning an Academy Award anytime soon. But
bro,
I still liked it.
Yeah. But Abe, come on, Seth Rollins is going to bring the best out of most of the wrestlers. You know what I mean? But Matt Riddle's got to evolve here just a little bit, bro.
Yeah.
Is it me or has there been a lot of guys calling each other bitch lately?
Oh yeah.
Is that I'm definitely from the inception of Raw.
That's one of the words
and stopped watching around 2018 maybe because it was just unwatchable. And I'm back now watching because of Vince leaving or whatever. So is this like a new thing, or has this been going on for a while?
No, this feels new. It feels like bitch is back. Like that's.
I don't remember hearing like "you little bitch" like all the time. Like Dolph said it to Finn a week or two ago. Like I feel like a bunch of guys have been calling each other bitch lately.
Yeah, I think bitch was in the memo. Like, all right, y'all, bitch is back on.
I mean, the women have been doing it, but now the men are doing it. Just kind of feels weird.
I know I was gonna say the women were definitely doing it a lot, like very heavy, but they made it work, bitch.
Yeah, like with women, it's more natural.
Sure,
women calling each other bitch. But yeah, the dudes are like, oh, we can say it now too. Yup. Everybody y'all fight finna be a bitch.
See, they call each other dicks. They should be like, you dick. But no, a lot of bleeps.
Yeah.
Did they release that? I can't remember if it was on Raw or was it like something that they posted on like their Instagram, their social media afterwards. Because I think that could be effective too. Like putting that stuff on Raw doesn't have the same effect as it would be like maybe like a day later dropping it on social media. Like, did you see this? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I don't know because I think I stepped away for a moment, and when I came back, all I heard was the guys they came back for commercial break, and then the announcer was saying, "We apologize for what just happened, yada yada," what y'all saw. So I'm like, "Wait, what the fuck just happened?" So I don't know if it happened when I stepped away and I missed it or what.
I would think
but I do remember the announcers saying like, "We apologize for that outburst," or if that just happened. So I'm like, "Oh, maybe it must have." So when I saw the clip later, I was like, "Oh, that must have been what I missed."
Yeah, I think it might have been a little more impactful. I think you are right if they had released that after the show. Like, here's what happened, because I think the fight they had in the parking lot, I think that was up on the web before the show started. I think,
right.
And I think kind of like again blurring the lines a little bit. Obviously, it was like you don't have referees coming out of nowhere to break up a fight that's just happened organically. But if they're showing it, it's a work. But I kind of like the blurring the lines. I've always liked that. So I'm kind of glad we're sort of getting back to that. Is this real? Is it not real? Maybe it is. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. Like seeing the little parking lot fight, I was like, okay, we know it's scripted, but it looks okay. I think they can. It's not bad for a first effort. I'll say that. Yeah. I think if they decide to do this a little bit more, they can work on refining it and making it feel more, quote unquote, natural, making it look like actual self. Like for one, who the hell's recording it and it's still in 16:9 aspect ratio? Like, if you want to make it look authentic, it needs to be. It needs to look like a cell phone video.
Yeah.
Like little tweaks like that I think they'll gradually improve on if they decide to do this more and more. If this is something that they keep in their toolkit.
The other day at Monday Night Raw, a WWE staff member, had to leap over a barricade to remove a sign from a fan that said, "We want Naomi, not Bacha Banks."
Now, the very fact that they would feel the need to intervene on that implies that they are back and just waiting to be used, and they don't, they want to hide some of that negative stuff or just try to. I don't know if they're just going to try to bury what recently happened. I wouldn't think that Triple H would do something like that. He seems like too aware to know that he can't just bring them back and act like nothing happened. That's some shit that Vince would try to do.
Oh, yeah, that definitely should be incorporated into the storyline, for sure.
Right, the walkout should absolutely be a part of it.
But how are you going to disrespect Sasha Banks like that? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, really.
And I mean, if you had to make a Mount Rushmore of women, WWE women, I mean, I think she's probably got to be on it.
Right.
And no disrespect to Naomi either. I think she's great, too. But Sasha Banks is one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, she's one of the... easily been one of their top performers of the last 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell because, like, she changed her social media even again, like, back to, like, Sasha Banks WWE. Like, I think it was, like, Mercedes something.
Yeah,
it was her real name.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'll
Mercedes.
tell you what. Shit like that I don't like it, and I'll tell you why. Because part of the reason the Undertaker worked is because you didn't know shit about him.
Yeah.
For all those years, you know what I mean? And now I feel like I know. I know who's got a baby, and I know who's married to who, and I know what they like to do in their spare time. And I don't want to know that shit. It takes away the mystique. You know what I mean? I want these guys to only exist at the arena, and they don't have personal lives, and I don't,
Yeah, but see, that's what the modern wrestling is, though. Like, there is no mystique anymore. Everybody knows that these are people, and they have lives outside of the ring.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, you're definitely old man Shakespeare cloud right now. Yeah, I mean, that's part of what helps them connect with their fans and stuff. Like, I mean, that's part of the game, honestly. If you don't have a social media presence, I don't know how not having a strong social media presence would arguably probably impact a wrestler's ability to become a top star in a company right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I believe they absolutely, like, when they're sitting there looking at their talent, saying, like, all right, who are we going to push next, or who's this, that, and the third, I'm pretty sure they look at people's social media followings.
You know, it's not so long ago. I can't remember what his WWE name was. Matt Cardona, when he had the Internet Wrestling Championship or whatever, and he was getting
Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder, right? And the front office shit all over him. You know what I mean? Like, that was frowned upon. God, was he ahead of his time, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Ooh, breaking news, guys, in AEW right now. Big Cass, former WWE wrestler Big Cass, debuted at Dynamite. Why?
Why?
For why? That's what I asked, just for why.
He's like the perfect guy. He should have stayed at Impact. You know, he's perfect for Impact.
Where did Enzo go? I heard he's jacked as hell, though, right now.
Oh, yeah. I saw
Somebody please confirm. Yeah, I think he's I heard he got really jacked.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah. I was like, I wonder where he's at.
He's in some little piddly-whittle promotion somewhere. XFWV, or I don't know. Something you never heard of.
I'll tell you what I saw.
I believe it goes by, I think it's NZO, I think. Is how he stylized his name these days.
Remember who I was?
He sucked.
So, scrolling through some news, and I, started to read it, but then I kind of, halfway through, not even halfway, I just didn't care anymore, and I just backed out. Ex-WWE wrestler Velveteen Dream got arrested twice in 6 days. And I just man, this guy just keeps digging himself into a deeper and deeper hole. I was on board with him when he got fired. I was like, no, I don't on board as in I didn't want him to get fired. I was one of the fans. I liked him, in NXT. Then he got fired and hasn't come back, and it just seems like every time I hear about him in the news, it's never anything good.
He was apparently on probation before the first arrest, so now he's really in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what happened yet. We got to give him the benefit of the doubt, I suppose. Guilty until proven innocent, or innocent until proven guilty, rather. Oops.
That's wrestling court for you.
Well, what did he get fired for? Wasn't there some real shady shit he got fired for, as I recall, right? Wasn't it like a sex thing or underage girl thing or something. Right?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the guy at all. He came and went during the time I wasn't watching, but I thought I heard that his release came about because of some allegations. I think there may have been some sort of sexual assault related allegations or something. I don't think it was a thing that they just let him go because. I think there was actually some real life issue that he had, some real life legal or possibly legal issue that he had that led to him being released.
Yeah, I hope he gets his shit together.
Yeah. Doesn't look like Carmella is going to be coming back anytime soon. She's still out with an injury. If anybody else is missing Carmella, I mean visually, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah, absolutely. Visually, I'm missing Carmella. I mean, she had like a few matches, a feud with Bianca Belair, and then she was out. So if she was getting momentum, it's gone now. I mean, if you're out with an injury. With some of the stars that they've been bringing up from NXT, what's working for you guys? What's not working? For me, I'm sorry, Hit Row's not working for me. I'm sorry. That's just not vibing. You know?
I think the model guys. What are they called?
Dude, those guys aren't working for me either.
Oh, MM, Maximum Male Models.
Why? But it's
I just
better
think
than
they're funny.
anything with the 24/7 title. I haven't seen the 24/7 title in a while, and I'm not complaining.
Not since Vince. Yep.
Good.
For our truth.
Good. I think on the subject of Hit Row,
Yeah.
I'll admit, I think it's too early to call it on them because we haven't seen them wrestle. We only saw them basically just attack Maximum Male Models, which seemed like a good thing. It was like, okay, cool. They go back, come out here, they go make an impact, start something, and then they started rapping, and that's when they lost me. It's like rapping is just a no-go in professional wrestling. In my
I think
opinion,
we talked
it
about this
never,
last episode. Yeah, it really grabs
it never works ever. Not even what John Cena did. It really worked. It kind of he's probably had the most success with it in a halfway gimmick, which part of it was a product of the 2000s, and the 2000s were just wild. And two, he wasn't really trying to rap. He was like just freestyling and just talking off the cuff. He wasn't in the ring with a beat drop and actually trying to perform and do a song.
I think Max Cast is pretty good.
Who?
He's on AEW. He's the Acclaimed. He comes out rapping, and I think he's pretty funny.
No, rapping never works for anybody.
And I'm going to tell you,
it is cringe every single time.
Yes.
It is cringe every single time. Nobody needs to rap. We are not here for your demo. We are not here for your mixtape. We're here to see you perform in the ring. Save all the rest of that shit for IG. So that part they completely lost
me. He's so good at that too. Along with being like the 54-time 24/7 European television champion.
Yeah. Save all that stuff for your social media and for your stuff outside of the WWE if you want to go that route. And if you get on that way, then fine. But as far as the product on television, I don't like it. Now, the following week, when they had the little brief segment with Street Profits, that part I thought was cool. I thought that was a cool little segment. But I think it's still too early to tell for Hit Row because we haven't seen them have a match yet, just like Maximum Male Models. I think their little thing it's a silly little thing. It's kind of annoying every time I see it on because I'm just like, I don't care about the photo shoots. Just get in the fucking ring and wrestle already.
I know. Stop with these.
Yeah, like they're I understand the gimmick. Yeah, I get the gimmick. I think it's a okay gimmick, but they're dragging it out too long from my taste. Like at some point, get in the ring and let me see if you can actually perform.
Right.
Yeah, when I was a kid, well, and still, I always loved the bad guys. And one of my favorite bad guys of all time is Rick the Model Martel. And those guys remind me, it's the same gimmick, basically. And that's I guess that's probably why I like them, because they remind me of Martel.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not opposed to the gimmick. It's just, at some point, this is still professional wrestling, so get the wrestling.
I mean, the women have it right. I mean, we seen what Bailey has her little stable, little faction going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we seen Aaliyah and Gonzalez, Raquel Gonzalez,
Raquel Rodriguez.
Is that what she is?
Rodriguez.
They keep changing the names, man.
Yeah, that's why I hesitated because I was like, wait a second, I know I'm going to get this wrong.
So, as much as I liked it, Matt Riddle again, and Austin Theory's Austin. They keep changing names. They changed Walter to Gunther.
That one really
just
gets me. Get him back to Walter.
They got to pick a name and stick with it, man.
Yeah, I think Aaliyah.
It's driving me crazy.
Yeah, but I think Aaliyah just goes by Aaliyah right now. They don't have a last name on her, and Raquel is Raquel Rodriguez.
Right, but she used to be
Gonzalez.
something else. Yeah.
What was that? Her NXT name was Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah, and we need to get rid of Butch's name. Back to Pete Dunne.
Yeah, but it's like, why change?
Why change him at all?
That one I'm not opposed to. I think the Butch gimmick works for him.
Really?
Honestly, I think he works well in that stable with Sheamus in them. Just like these group of little Irish boys, they're brawlers. They got each other's back and all stuff. I think it works. And him as being like the loose cannon and all that stuff. As like, there's always one of those in the group. There's always that one guy who's like, he's always down to set it off. And I think for him it works. I think sometimes they kind of crank it up a little too much, and like he's a little like too like ready to go and not. He's like a little too much bark and not enough bite. Like if he's going to be the set it off guy, I need to see him actually set it off more.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you, but Butch and Pete Dunne are different characters, basically. I mean, even if it's the same guy.
I'm not familiar with the Pete Dunne aspect, so I can't really have much of an opinion on how he was as Pete Dunne.
Walter and Gunther are the same character, but they changed the name. Same with Raquel, whatever the hell her name is now. You know what I mean? It's like the same. Like, I don't know why they have to keep changing shit. They're just like they're confusing us old people. It's like when they rearrange the grocery store. I mean, they're for 3 hours. I don't know where anything is. It's the same thing. I don't know who these. Yeah. I lose track of who.
Old man moment right
but you got to remember that's also everything that all those people you're bringing up. That's all Vince too.
Yeah.
So that was a Vince thing where he always felt like, oh, well, you're on the main roster, now you're my product, and I got to mold you in my image so that I can take the credit for making you the success, even though what made you a success was all the work you did at NXT and that got all the fans over, which made me want to call you up in the first goddamn place. But, that's a Vince thing. So hopefully moving forward, we won't see Triple H do that as much or at all when he calls people up from NXT. They'll just come up as they are.
Right.
I mean, we've already seen how he completely 180 carrying Cross back to what he was.
Yeah. Let's talk about Karrion Kross for a second. I'm excited to see where the hell that goes after this pay-per-view. Like, we're going to see him feud with Drew next. Like,
it should. Well, yeah, I think they could feud with Drew either way. I think if Drew becomes champion, then we could see Karrion Kross go target him for the title.
Yeah.
If Drew loses, I could see Karrion Kross targeting him for being a failure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he could get involved and cost him the title and kick him out there. There's a lot of possibilities here, which is good.
They're doing a good job.
Part of the problem has been that it's been so fucking predictable. You know what I mean? Like, obviously X equals Y equals Z. And now it's just like they get so many balls. They get so many balls in the air. It could go 100 different ways. Who knows? There's just some intrigue again, which is kind of nice change.
Yeah, I agree. They're doing a good job with Karrion Kross so far of keeping him relevant, keeping him at the forefront of people's attention, while still leaving it relatively unknown what they're going to do with him. So yeah, that's a good job. They're keeping him interesting.
Right. Well, I mean, that's all I got for like news right now. If you guys have anything else you want to talk about before we break into this predictions. What else has been tickling your fancy, man? Let's talk.
I will say nothing else. Like I said, I'm just wrapping up the whole thing. I think Triple H has done overall. I think we all agree that Triple H so far in his first month has done an excellent job.
The product has been fucking enjoyable and bearable.
Yeah, he isn't perfect. There are some things he's done that I don't like. Like he seems to have brought back squash matches, which I don't like.
Yeah,
that seems super unnecessary.
There.
No, some of them are super unnecessary. Like maybe if you have
the 6-woman tag squash match that was
exactly that one from Raw was completely unnecessary.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you've only got so many. There's only a finite number of matches. And after you've seen them all 100 times, I don't want to watch it 102nd time. You know what I mean? So it doesn't bother me to throw a squash match in there, especially if you're building up somebody.
I don't
throw a squash match in there so I don't have to watch the same fucking match over and over and over and over.
Right.
You know, like how many times if I see Roman and Brock wrestle again, I'm going to spit nickels. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to see it again. I really don't.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, and I think that's the point. Yeah. That's the part where a squash match is good if you're building up somebody. If it's a new guy that you plan on pushing, but you're trying to get him out there in front of the people, let them see him, let them get familiar with him. That's when a squash match works.
Right.
But when you have you have three of your top Raw competitors on Raw, three of your top baby faces who are about to head into a match with other women at a pay-per-view, and the go-home show has your top three baby faces in a squash match with a bunch of local jobbers. No, that's completely
kind of a
pointless.
dearth. Like there's a dearth of women. Like who else would they go up against? They want to show those three together having a match, but who else would they face? You know?
Well, I don't think they needed to wrestle at all that night. I think that time slot could have gone to something else. Period. There was no need for them to wrestle at all that night. And going back even further, if it was me, I think I talked about this on a previous episode, I would have booked this entire build up completely different.
Yeah.
From the jump. Remember, I was the one who said from the jump that I would not have had any of them wrestling at all before a Clash at the Castle. I would have had them just backstage, just jumping people and attacking and interfering and beat down. So yeah, I would have done the Bailey, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. I would have done them the same way that NWO was done when they first showed up, where there was like a whole month of build-up where we didn't see them wrestle before they actually wrestled at Bash at the Beach. That's personally how I would have done them. But given that they didn't go that route and they did have them competing, obviously, Kai and Sky in the women's tag tournament and such, that given that they went to go down that route, that's fine and dandy, is what it is. That still doesn't mean that Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss need to waste 5 minutes beating the crap out of jobbers, and then that's it. Like, it wasn't even like Bailey and their crew got involved in it or came out and tried to interfere. Nothing. It was literally just, here's these three versus some jobbers, beat the crap out of them, man, we're done. Like,
yeah, I agree though. It could have been filled with like a good promo, a beatdown of some kind. Yeah, keeping these.
Yeah, it could have been a promo. It could have been an attack. It could have been a wrestling match for somebody else. It's just somebody else completely different on the card.
Io Sky, whatever. There's another unnecessary name change while we're talking about that.
Yep. Oh, we're finding them. They're all over the place like Easter eggs. So
yeah.
Yeah, like I said, that's my gripe with it. I'm not a huge fan of squash matches in general, but I do understand that there is a place for them. And like you said, when building up new talent and getting them familiar with the audience, cool, perfectly fine for squash matches there. But top tier talent who are in the feud with other top tier talent don't need to have a squash match thrown in the middle of that build up.
Yeah, fair enough.
We don't need the 3 former women's champions, just demolishing jobbers like.
Yeah.
Right. So. I mean, hell, if you want to shake it up, hell, you could have had them fucking lose by the girls costing them the match.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That would have been a total shocker. Like, here's a jobbers. They're gonna whoop these jobbers. There's nothing gonna happen. And then suddenly, like Bailey or one of them comes out and interferes, and they actually lose the match. Oh, that would have put some extra heat onto the match going into Clash at the Castle for sure.
Good old fashioned roll up.
Right, that could have been an effective use of a jobber match.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like just a little clean roll up or something like that. Like they get distracted, one of them rolls up and gets pinned. It's like, oh shit, what the fuck?
Yeah, but they had the roll up of Doom in the women's tag championship match, though.
Yeah, they did use it there too. Yeah, but I mean, roll up of Doom or one of them gets clocked and knocked out. One of them back turn and shit, and Bailey comes around from him with like some brass knuckles and KOs the shit out of one of them and gets a 3 count.
Yeah, that's true.
But something like that wrinkle would have been, oh yeah, that could have worked.
So All right, let's break. Let's move on here to Clash of the Castle.
Clash of the Castles.
Yeah, Clash of the Castles.
Dr. Cashba.
Oh my god! In Cardiff, Wales.
Castle Lions versus Grayskull. Are these the castles that are clashing?
Yeah. Oh man, I hope this is the last one we get. Clash of the Castle. What other pay-per-view was around this time last year? Can't remember. What would have been here after SummerSlam?
Well, SummerSlam was real early this year, right? SummerSlam's not usually till August, isn't it?
Well, SummerSlam was in August this year. It was like just at the very beginning of August.
I thought it was in July.
July 30th.
Yeah.
That was SummerSlam?
Yeah, that was SummerSlam.
Oh.
Same.
Wow. Oh, yeah, more or less, yeah. But usually it is around like mid-August.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is weird.
Is there another one? Is there another pay-per-view between this and Extreme Rules?
Worlds Collide.
In October? What's in September? Is there a September one? I guess it's September.
Yeah, I'll say they usually do one every month.
Is there another one in September?
I don't think they have another one lined up except Worlds Collide.
No, yeah, I'll say if this is going to be Clash, then yeah, this will be the September pay-per-view, and then whatever comes up in October.
When I first heard about this, I thought it was going to be like one of those Saudi blood money shows, and I remember being like, I'm not going to watch that. Who cares? And then the card seems pretty cool. So it is actual pay-per-view and not just a event. You know?
Seems pretty cool. I don't know, man. Let's break this down. I mean, some of them I sigh at because I don't know. Some of these I'm not as excited. Like, okay, we're getting Edge and Rey Mysterio with Dominic versus Judgment Day. Do we think this is where we're finally gonna see Dominic turn heel?
God, I hope so.
Match?
Damn well better be.
Right? I don't know where else it's gonna happen. If it's gonna happen, it has to be here.
Yeah, they have dragged this out far too long. Like, either shit or get off the pot.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because at this point, Judgment Day is becoming less and less of a threat each week that they're just out there. Like, watching them cut their promo this week, they came across as a bunch of tryhards as opposed to.
I did see you put that on the Discord.
Yeah, that's how they came across to me, as opposed to being like.
Match.
So what?
What a match and since when? I mean, it's been a while, right?
Yeah, I mean, like they're wrestling and they're getting wins in their matches, but they're just kind of spinning their wheels at this point. So there needs to be some sort of development in Judgment Day. And honestly, like the most interesting one in the group is Rhea Ripley, and she hasn't wrestled at all since Elimination Chamber.
She's still injured, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming she's still out injured.
Yeah.
But that kind of says that doesn't bode well when the non-wrestling part of your clique is the most interesting person in your stable.
Right. Well, I got to believe that eventually Beth Phoenix, it's going to be like a mixed tag with Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Rhea and probably Finn. But like until you get there, like,
I don't even want that match, honestly. Edge and Beth versus.
I don't know. I'm not saying I want it. I'm just saying I think that's where they're going.
I hope. Yeah. They kind of teased it at the Canada show, but me personally, I hope that this is the end of their feud, at least with Edge. Like, for me, if I was booking this, I think Finn Balor and Damian Priest are going to win this match. I think they have to win this match in order to maintain any sort of legitimacy. If they lose this, then you might as well just break them up. They're done. So I think they have to win to maintain legitimacy. I think they would win because of Dominic's interference when he finally decides to go with Rhea and become her sub. Mm-hmm. And if it would be, they would win, and then Edge would be out of the picture in terms of feuding with them, and they would just be left with Dom has joined Judgment Day, and Rey Mysterio is basically singularly focused on trying to get his son back, and I would have them beat the living fuck out of Rey Mysterio. Not because I have anything against Rey Mysterio, but the thing is, I would do that and get Rey Mysterio off of television.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I kind of hope that it leads to a retirement match with Dominic and Rey.
Yeah, see, and then that's where I'm going with it. Like they would beat down Rey Mysterio bad enough to where he comes off where he's off television for a significant amount of time. Maybe even through the rest of the year. And while he's out of the picture, Dom can establish himself within Judgment Day as his own person. He can develop a little bit further, and then maybe next year Rey Mysterio returns, reignites his feud with Judgment Day and a more developed Dominic trying to get his son back, leading to Rey Mysterio versus Dominic at WrestleMania. And that would be if it were me, I think that would be a Rey Mysterio retirement match. Mm-hmm. That's how I would book them going forward if it were me.
I wish they would both retire. Because I think Dominic Mysterio sucks.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
His character, yes. His character absolutely sucks right now, which is why I think he needs a change.
Yeah.
His wrestling, I think, can develop with time. Maybe he should have spent more time in NXT, a little bit of nepotism, got him up on the roster a bit too soon, but he's here now. So
I don't think he went through NXT. I think he just went right to the main roster.
Yeah, like I said, that nepotism let him kind of jump the line.
Yeah, he's gonna turn heel. He's gonna get a new shirt. He's gonna say Eddie was my poppy.
Yes.
Hey guys,
this is a weird match though because I think Finn is gonna get a huge pop in Europe. It's gonna it's gonna be like Canada, the Bizarro world, where like heels are getting cheered just because they're from there or whatever.
So, guys,
I just want to see
interesting dynamic.
I just want to see Rhea Ripley standing over Rey Mysterio's carcass and say, "He may have been your dom, but he's my sub now."
All right, guys.
I just want that line of the year.
Quick question for you guys. So, when was the last time Edge and Rey Mysterio won the tag team titles together?
For like 20 years.
2006.
Like 20 years. 2022 or 2002. November 5th, 2002. In a 2 out of 3 falls match. They do have a lot of tag team history together, though. Like, I mean, if you go back and dig in there, they've done a lot of tag team work together, and I think they even beat. I think Kurt Angle was one of the guys they beat for the tag titles.
Yeah. I think that was part of the little segment that Edge and Kurt Angle had on Raw.
Yeah, which I kind of enjoy that a little because I remember seeing the original one.
Oh yeah.
I did like that feud because I remember the hair versus hair match, and as like when I was younger, I was like, oh my god, like Edge is gonna lose, and they would like every week like show pictures of Edge what he would look like completely bald, and I was like, oh man, I can't accept this. Like, I could just like I can't accept the fact that Shawn Michaels is bald. I don't give a fuck. I still can't accept it. Like like Triple H, I was able to accept going bald. Like he was fine. The transition was fine, but Shawn Michaels, I couldn't take it. Like, but yeah, it's just.
Shawn Michaels has been bald for a while. He was just real good at growing the hair out and covering it up with but towards the end of some of his matches, especially when he would be warming up.
Oh yeah, that hairline was fading.
Flop it down, you could totally see this huge bald spot.
Oh yeah, that hairline was fading.
Retreating like French.
I'm getting there. I know that's the route that I'm going to end up going. I can see it now. I call it. I get in the Shawn Michaels pattern. As long as I don't get the Shawn Michaels wonky eye, I think I'm all right.
Speaking of retirements, apparently Edge after the Toronto show said something to the effect of, "I think we're going to be back here this time next year, and that'll be my last match." And God damn it, I hope it's true because I don't ever need to see him again either.
Toronto,
I've never been an Edge fan. I didn't like him then. I don't like him now. I can't wait to see him go.
Oh man, you don't have any Edge shirts. You don't have any Dominic shirts. I mean, gee, listen.
Boom. Roasted.
He just roasted this guy. I mean,
I haven't liked Edge since, for the benefit of those with flash photography. And frankly, I think Christian was the brains of that operation, because Christian still entertains me to this very day. And Edge is like, oh, fast forward.
So you're telling me you think that Edge was was not as good as Christian in that group? Christian was the better one?
I think he was the more entertaining one. Yes. I never liked Edge.
I will concede that Christian was underutilized, but I don't think he's more charismatic than Edge. I think Edge has him beat hands down in the charisma department.
Yeah.
Now, Christian was definitely underutilized in the WWE. They definitely could have gotten more out of him. And he's definitely shown it everywhere except WWE, but I still wouldn't say that he's more charismatic than Edge.
Yeah, Edge is just one of those guys that never did it for me.
Damn, nothing. Rated R superstar, nothing. Your dick don't wiggle just a little bit, nothing. You feel nothing for this guy.
Kind of like him banged Lita in the middle of the
live
ring.
sex celebration, nothing. The first
live sex celebration.
The cash in on John Cena. The first Money in the Bank briefcase winner. Dick don't wiggle just a little bit. Coming back from 7-8 year injury. Like we thought he was retired. Comes back at the Royal Rumble. Dick doesn't wiggle just a little bit.
I'm not saying he shouldn't be a Hall of Famer. I'm not saying he's not one of the greatest of all time or whatever. He just never did it for me. I've never enjoyed him. What? Just like it just is. There's some guys I don't like. It is what it is. There's some guys that suck that I really like. Whatever.
Everything ain't for everybody. I will say this: Edge has the weakest spear out of every wrestler ever in the history of spears.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Edge's spear is trash.
Oh man, I hope he doesn't ever listen to this episode.
If he does, I like everything else about Edge. I like everything else about Edge except his spear. His spear is trash.
He can bring his weak ass little neck down here to South Philly and
a stack of dimes you call a neck.
Yeah, right.
Oh shit. Yes.
No, I don't. I don't mean to say that I have anything personally against him.
I just never heard somebody yeah, Christian's the better one. Like, what? Okay, real quick. Real quick. Matt or Jeff Hardy?
I guess you got to say Jeff, but
I was more of a Jeff guy too.
Yeah. Okay. Kane or Undertaker?
Taker,
yeah. If you have to take one, definitely.
I was like, yeah, that's not even a question.
That's why I like asking. It's an obvious question, with Christian and Edge. It's fucking Edge. I mean, it's just for me. That's how I feel. Kane or Undertaker? Oh well, yeah. Of course, it's Undertaker. Like Jeff. For me, it's Jeff. Like Bubba or Devon. Neither. Like it's easy. This is a. Nice.
I mean, if you want to ask, though,
testify, my brother.
Yeah.
I mean, ask one that can be where there's a legitimate debate. Midnight Express,
okay.
Beautiful Bobby Eaton or Sweet Stan Lane.
Okay.
Shawn Michaels or Marty Jannetty. I couldn't even say that one without laughing.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, really. All right, so let's move on from that match.
Earthquake or Typhoon?
Yeah, Earthquake or Typhoon.
Quake.
Gunther.
Shock match.
We're gonna have Gunther with the Intercontinental Champion versus Sheamus with the Brawling Brutes.
You mean to tell me the Intercontinental Championship is going to be defended on pay-per-view?
Yes, they are making these titles fucking matter.
Another thing that I will give Triple H props for, those promos that they've cut for the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title, highlighting their history and their legacy, he's making a conscious effort to bring them back to relevance and make them actually mean something again. So I've got really high expectations for this match. I think this match could potentially still be the match of the night. I think this could steal the show.
Yeah, two big brutes going at it. You know, these guys are, 285 to, 300 pounds. We're going to see a lot of chest slaps, and it's going to show. It's going to fucking show. I mean, this is two brutes. And, I'm
crowd is going to eat this up.
Yeah, I'm fine either way. Because Gunther's reign can continue, or Sheamus becomes a Grand Slam champion.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think you could flip a coin on this one on who would win. There's really no bad outcome in this unless they just come up unless there's a no contest. That's the only bad outcome you can have in this one. As long as we get a definitive winner one way or the other, I think it can work.
It's gonna be so hard because there's so many people who could be involved in fucking that up. You know?
Yeah. And on the subject of this match, can we give a freaking shout out to them and their freaking promo from last Friday's SmackDown?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that thing was beautiful.
Yeah.
With Gunther and Sheamus just talking to each other and giving the stare down from hell, and then Mr. Set It Off the way I wanted him to, and they straight got the scrapping in the background.
Yeah.
And they didn't flinch.
Those are another promos that also felt, here's your plot points, hit it, and just do the rest. You know? It was great. I think it was great.
I absolutely loved it. The fact that they was rumbling around them and Gunther and Sheamus didn't flinch.
We got two big ass.
Well, I'm going to speak some Irish for our friends in the Irish friends in the audience. Chucky Allah. It means our day will come. And I believe that our day will come. It's Sheamus' day will come, and he will be, in fact, a Grand Slam champion. But I think that, what is he, Gunther, whatever the hell his name is. I think he's going to look great in defeat, and I think it's time for him to level up into the world title picture going forward. So I think everybody wins in this situation.
That's true. That's very true.
In addition to being Grand Slam, if he does in fact do it, Grand Slam champion, Sheamus already is the second guy ever to be King of the Ring, win the Rumble, and win the Money in the Bank ladder match. Do you know who the only other person is that has done that?
King of the Ring, Rumble, and Money in the Bank?
Yes, sir. It was the first.
See, the caveat is the Money in the Bank because that's the newest one. So,
Miz,
we're talking somebody.
You are correct, sir.
Oh, Miz.
Yeah, the Miz is another one of those guys who's also done it all.
Miz is actually a double Grand Slam champion. He's won every title twice. He's the only one that's done that.
He just hasn't won the Rumble. If he wins the Rumble, then he's really hit them all. You know?
Well, what titles count? Now, what titles count in the Grand Slam? Intercontinental, WWE title. What else? United States title and
tag titles.
And the tag titles. That's what's considered the Grand Slam now.
Yeah, and I don't think you have to win one from each show. I just think you have to win a tag title.
Right, or a world.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I remember.
Now it's not.
So I remember back in the day, there used to be something around being like the European champion, Intercontinental champion, and WWE champion.
Yeah.
And a tag team champion. I think that used to be like the old Grand Slam, I guess, back in the day.
I think there's been 17 Grand Slam champions or something like that.
Yeah, it evolves as the titles evolve.
Yeah. I think Michaels was the first person to do that, but I could be wrong about that.
I think you're correct on that.
But, I don't know. Have Sheamus won the 24/7 title?
Who cares? We won't be seeing that again, hopefully. Who is currently the 24/7 champion anyway?
That's how much.
Is it Dana Brooks? Is she?
She probably is. Ooh, quick rundown right here of Grand Slam champions: Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Kane, Chris Jericho, Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, Rob Van Dam, Booker T, Jeff Hardy, John Bradshaw Layfield, Christian, and Big Show.
How shocking that neither The Rock nor Stone Cold Steve Austin are Grand Slam champions. They skipped right over that. Skipped right over that little ass European title.
Yeah, that was the original format. And then, then we go on to guys like The Miz, Daniel Bryan, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, Orton, Seth Rollins, Kofi Kingston, Rey Mysterio, and AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm.
And then
who are modern Grand Slam champions.
Yeah. And women, it's Bayley, Asuka, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte. Oh. Huh.
Wait, what counts as a women's Grand Slam? What, NXT tag title and women's title?
The Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and the tag team.
So Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and tag team.
So Becky Lynch is the only one of the 4 horsewomen that's not on there.
And she's never been tag champion, right?
Becky?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Wait,
because she's been SmackDown, she's been Raw.
Wasn't she with Charlotte for like a hot minute? Because I thought that's how Charlotte won it with Asuka. That's right.
Yeah, I assume Becky Lynch has been NXT champion.
I don't think so.
Uh,
I don't.
Or did she skip right past NXT? Or did she get called up before ever winning the title?
I don't think she's ever won. Becky Lynch at NXT TakeOver, Rival Lynch participated in a fatal 4-way match for the NXT Women's Championship. Was won by Banks. In April, Lynch defeated Bayley and Charlotte in a triple threat match to earn a title match against Sasha, which she lost at NXT TakeOver Unstoppable. So no, she had a chance, but she never got there. That really sucks. I mean, like, who's to say she never goes back to just, I've come back to collect my Grand Slam?
Because she doesn't need it.
I know she doesn't need it, but she could do it. Because I also thought for a time that Charlotte wasn't going to get it. Like, I was like, oh, she just needs the tag titles. I'm like, they're just not going to put them on her. And then they did for a hot minute with Asuka. And then she quickly went back to being a heel. That did not last long. But, yeah.
Where's Charlotte? Is she injured?
I think she's just out on leave. I think she's still out on leave from her honeymoon.
Yeah, I want to.
She hasn't come back since.
I've been wrestling an awful lot.
Rolling into, because I want to mention that, like rolling into like Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler, right? I thought Charlotte always a wild card. Do we see Charlotte at all during this pay-per-view, or do you think we're going to get a clean win for Liv Morgan? I mean, she's going to be.
I think Ronda's more the wild card than.
Yeah, I was like, if anybody gets involved in this match, it's going to be Ronda Rousey, not Charlotte.
Right, but we could possibly, in the 6. No, I wouldn't even see her interfere in that match either. Yeah, you're right. We might not see her at all. I mean, really doesn't need to. But yeah, she's available, just sitting on the sidelines. I mean, I'm assuming writing something for her later in the fall. But
yeah, they're just probably waiting for the right time to bring her back. They've got programs going with pretty much all their top talent right now. There's no real need for her, and they have, like you said, they probably don't have anything for her to do right now. So there's like sit at the crib and chill. We'll call you when we're ready for you.
Yeah, and I think it's almost guaranteed Ronda Rousey gets involved in this. And how many people do you need running in on this one? Right. Yeah, I think the only question here is, does Rousey try to screw over Liv and cost her the title to help out Shayna Baszler, or does she screw over Shayna Baszler because she wants to beat Liv herself and get a revenge?
That's where I think I see it going, and then we get Shayna versus Ronda at some point. But you got to build Shayna up more, I think, before you get that. A lot more.
Yeah, I think you could get Shayna versus Ronda depending on how the match. Depending on the outcome of the match. But that may also be something that they want to save for WrestleMania, because I think a Shayna Baszler Ronda Rousey match is a WrestleMania caliber match.
Yeah, that's a ways away, though.
Then put the strap
It
on
is.
Shayna and just have her dominate all the way through then.
Yeah. But just because, I mean, she could dominate all the way through, but just because Ronda gets involved in the match doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to immediately lead to a feud with Shayna Baszler either.
Right.
She could get involved into it, and that could
the
be
waters
something.
with that, though, in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like maybe they're going to form a
Feeling it
faction. Maybe they're not.
Yeah, we don't know what direction. It could be a wild. They can easily build up to that down the line. They don't necessarily have to jump into it immediately. And as we've seen in some of these promos recently, they're not afraid to call back to the past. We saw that on Raw this past Monday.
And it gets back to what I was saying earlier about unpredictability. You know, like where I feel like before it was paint by numbers. Oh, so and so said this to so and so. That means they're gonna, you know. But now I don't know what's gonna happen. I legitimately don't know if. I think Ronda definitely gets involved, but I don't know who she helps or why she helps them. You know, what I mean? And that I actually give a shit about a Liv Morgan match, which I never thought I would say. But I think it's easier to pivot back to killer Shayna Baszler. Talk about somebody that they fucking dropped the ball on.
Oh my god!
You know, coming up from NXT, right?
She was just choking people out all the way to the fucking top, and then just killed it and then put her with Nia Jax
I think it's
for a
pretty
while.
easy to get her back there.
Yeah, she could come out there and just crush Liv Morgan and instantly be back as the dominating
Think of the
fighter.
heat that she would fucking get too, just from just crushing her like that. You know. That
Or
would be
Liv
a lot of
Morgan
heat.
could have one of her bullshit little stupid victories like she's been having. You know, I don't know what happens here. I really don't.
Well, she really only has one bullshit victory, and that's the SummerSlam match, and that's where they more or less ruined her title run. Was in that match, which is why, for my money, I think Shayna Baszler should win this match and become champion, because I think you've ruined Liv Morgan's title run with that catastrophe at SummerSlam. That finish should have never happened that way. She should have won clean. You could have still let Ronda look strong while Liv came out on top as the scrappy underdog who finds a way to win. But they went for that controversial finish, and she's never going to be able to shake that as champion. No matter what she does, she will not shake the fans will not let her forget that she tapped out to Ronda. That will hang over her and always compromise her credibility as champion during this title run. So I think you kind of got to hit the reset button on her. She drops the title to Shayna Baszler. You reestablish Shayna Baszler as a strong heel champion who can beat the crap out of people, and let Liv Morgan go the route that Bianca went last year and start at the bottom and work her way back up.
I think that's where they eventually go with her, but I think she squeaks this one out because I think Ronda's going to fuck over Shayna Baszler because she wants to beat Liv, and then when she does beat Liv, I think then she'll go back and do what you just said. But I think Liv's gonna squeak out another one somehow.
Yeah, that seems possible. I don't know that I think they may still be committed to champion. Like, if I was to put my money on it, I think your scenario is more likely to happen. My scenario is just how I would book it if it were me, but I think your scenario is more likely to happen. I think they're somehow still committed to trying to get her over as champion.
We'll find out Saturday.
Or they're saving her loss for somebody else, like a Ronda or a Charlotte.
I see a Brock
Hopefully
Lesnar,
not Charlotte.
Kofi Kingston incident happened. She runs right towards Shayna. She puts her in the chokehold, puts her down, puts her to sleep. Done.
I mean, if it was me, I would.
That's heat.
I would
That's
honestly
heat right there.
If it was me, I would book it. I would honestly book it as a squash.
Yeah, book it as a squash.
I would have her.
We're
Yep.
such fan favorites of like Liv, and then with having the crowd turn on her the other week. Like, you're right though. Like let's squash her. You know, rebook her a little bit better.
Squash her and build her back up. Let her work her way back up. And it sucks too because I like Liv Morgan and she had so much momentum coming out of Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
that was her night. That was her pay-per-view.
They really booked her poorly.
Yeah,
they did not do her a service with the way they presented her. I agree with you.
They did, yeah. Like I said, coming out of Money in the Bank, she had all the momentum in the world.
Yeah,
and they butchered it.
So
within one match, just ruined it.
We talked about it a little bit earlier, but this match, Matt Riddle versus Seth freaking Rollins. Are we gonna? Is this match even going to finish, or is it gonna go immediately into a DQ, and we're gonna see this feud continue?
The feud's going to go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think we're going to see this feud continue for sure. Yeah. But I think Seth's going to win. I mean, when was his last win? You know, not like he's one of the guys that can afford to lose, sure. But I feel like he hasn't won much in quite a while. You know, he lost all those matches to Cody. He lost to one-armed Cody. You know what I mean? So I think this won't be. This is the beginning of their feud, not the end. I think Riddle will get the win back, but I think Seth beats him here.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's exactly how it goes down. Seth is going to win. You're right. He hasn't had a good win in a while. I mean, I think he had a match with Montez Ford and beat him in a 1v1. Actually, I think he beat Montez and D'Angelo in back-to-back weeks on Raw, but those aren't
those were good
major
matches too.
Yeah, they were good matches, but those aren't like major signature wins or anything like that. That's just like, you know, one of those wins that's like, okay, you know, I got my footing back. You know, right. I'm back on my game in terms of getting some wins. Right. So yeah, I think Seth Rollins is going to win. I think this match is going to be. I don't think this match is going to be. It's going to be a brawl. It's going to be a fight, but it's not going to be like. It's not the climax of the feud. This is just the beginning. So they'll have probably like a regular match. It'll be a little bit of brutality in it because they got some heat going with them. But ultimately, I think it'll boil down to just being a regular match. Seth Rollins gets the win. Maybe cheats a little to win, but he gets the win. And then the feud continues.
Do we see Randy Orton at all?
No.
Nope. Nah. I don't think we need it. I don't think we get Orton. I think he's enjoying his time off. Matt Rose seems to be doing fine
no
too
reason for me.
Yeah, plus I see interference in a whole bunch of or possible interference anyway, in a bunch of other places. It's like how much do you need? You know, some of these matches just have to be straight up one-on-one actual matches.
Yeah, you can't have somebody can't run in every match.
Yeah, that's true. But you never know. I always leave pay-per-views like this open for returns, and I'm always thinking about returns. Who could fit in where? Why? You know, because I'm now that Triple H is in charge, there's still people that have been out, you know, since then, and I'm still kind of curious how they'll be booked with him in charge. Like, how are they going to book people like Randy Orton and Charlotte? You know, we know Randy Orton is his boy from the Evolution days, and obviously we know where Charlotte Flair fucking sits. You know. So, I
don't know if that Flair last name carries as much weight with Triple H as it used to.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious to see how those kind of guys are going to get, or those kind of wrestlers are going to be booked.
Honestly, I think I could see somebody like Charlotte Flair taking a bit of a backseat. Honestly, because I think Triple H will be more invested in building up his newer talent or some of the fresher talent rather than somebody like Charlotte Flair, who's so establishment at this point. Like, she's not old, but she feels old.
You can plug and play her anytime you want.
Right. You can put her in there anytime you want and all stuff, but I don't see her like, I don't see a title win in her future for a long time. She might be in the title scene maybe here and there in a match, but I don't see her getting the belt back anytime soon. That's what I mean when I say I see her taking a bit of a backseat. Or I can see her being embroiled in feuds that don't involve the title.
I mean, she's, 14-time champion? Like, I think they're going to have her break her dad's record. Like, yeah, we gotta stretch it out because she's still very young and still has a long career left. So.
Right. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I said, she's not old, but she feels old because she's pretty much spent her entire time on the roster in the title picture in one way or the other. It seems like it.
Yep.
I could see her having a failed attempt to be a movie star also. I could see her trying to go do other things and not succeeding, and then coming back, because the straight to video on demand movie she made was a huge flop.
Ooh, what was that? I don't know what that is.
Oh, I'm not saying she has one. I'm just saying I could see her trying to do that. I could see her being in the Marine 8 or whatever, and being just a wildly unsuccessful in that endeavor, and then coming back.
You don't think she could be a Marvel character and make lots of money?
No.
Yeah. Exactly.
No. I mean, now Randy Orton, on the other hand, he's clearly on the tail end of his career, so I can see him being used pretty sparingly, honestly, moving forward. I don't think Triple H is going to completely let him waste away, but whenever he does come back, obviously he'll probably team back up with Riddle, and we may see one last heel run out of him.
You think he's clearly on the tail end of his career? I don't think so. I think he could be around for another 5-6 years if he wanted to be.
Yeah, but to be 5 or 6 years, I think it's still towards the end of his career. He's already 20 years in. I'm not saying I don't see him going for another 10 or 15 years or anything like that. So I mean,
no, hopefully
I don't know. He says he maybe as happy as he's ever been and doesn't see retirement in the future. And I'm not saying that Randy Orton's going to be done in a year or two. I'm not saying that is the tail end of his career, but he's clearly got more years behind him than he does ahead of him.
Orton is also a 14-time world champion as well.
Yeah,
he's
he's on the decline of his career, but I think it's going to be a gradual, slower decline. I think he'll come back and they'll throw him back in with Riddle because that was his last connection when he was active, and then I can see him turning on Riddle and going on another heel run, and probably popping back up into the title picture. Maybe one more title reign, and then.
Well, how close is he to Flair? He's going to have 14, 15.
Yeah, he has 14. Right? Yeah, he's real close.
He's going to be getting close to. I mean, if Cena's not going to do it, you got to think somebody's going to do it in the nearish future, right?
Yeah, it's not going to be Triple H anymore.
Yeah,
I think he is the closest one, maybe next to Seth Rollins, maybe. I don't know. Roman Reigns. Yeah. Who else would even come close right now? That's on the main roster.
Sheamus, maybe. He's not quite. He's not quite on that tier with them.
And then that's the question of. Yeah, but that raises the question of: would Triple H want to do that?
No,
does he want to put somebody above Ric Flair?
Yeah.
I understand that they're not buddies anymore, but I don't think Triple H just necessarily has a vengeful hatred or anything towards Ric Flair to where he's like, you know what, fuck that guy. I'm putting somebody else at the top of the title count.
Right.
No, Charlotte's 36, by the way. I just looked it up. I thought she was a lot, or not. I thought she was a good clip younger than that. Not that 36 is old by any stretch of the imagination.
I was going to say, I'm 35, almost 36. 9 or something.
What's that?
I said, I'm 35, almost 36.
Yeah, you're ancient, man. We're going to dust you off.
Yeah, I got pain in my knees, I got arthritis, all this stuff now.
Yeah, well, I'm older than Randy Orton, so I don't want to hear it.
How many title runs raised do you have? 14?
Same number as Coco Beware, and he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the Hall of Fame that don't have title runs at all.
Yeah. Yeah, shoot. I didn't realize she was 36 either. Yes, so yeah, I ain't gonna say she's at the end of her career either, but she ain't in her prime no more. I think she's right. Yeah. I think her prime is past as well.
28.
Yeah, I thought early 30s at the most, but yeah. So yeah, her prime is past. So obviously, she can clearly still go in the ring. She's not. Yeah, her physical prime isn't gone, but I think in terms of her career prime.
Well, I mean, wrestling's weird too because you see people. like a running back, is old at 28. You know what I mean? But like a wrestler, doesn't start really getting it sometimes until their early 30s. You know what I mean? So it's a different it's a different game.
Yeah, it definitely varies with wrestlers. Like some of them pop off in their early 20s and they immediately hit. Some guys toil away and like you said, don't even get on until they hit like 30.
I mean, look at fucking Diamond Dallas Page. I don't think even started until he was 35 or something, right?
Right.
And Batista.
Yeah, I was just about to say Batista's another one who started late in his career, and look at him now, fucking drags.
Right, like he was damn near 40 in his prime.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of world title runs, and now he's a big movie star.
Yeah, so future's unknown. We don't know how long these people could still go. They could go another 10 years. They could go 3 or 4 years.
I think, I
still think the general average is.
Batista was another one who was really close. He had a lot of title runs too. Like he was up there in the teens, I believe.
Yeah, but I don't think there's any danger of him coming back and getting 3 more to break the record or whatever.
No way. Not unless he does something terrible and he can't act no more.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Honestly, I don't think anybody does it. Honestly, if I had to put money on it, I don't see anybody doing that. I don't think Randy Orton's got that many more title runs in him to where he would break the record. And like I said, I don't know that Triple H would book anybody to surpass Flair.
Right.
Time will tell.
At least not while Flair's alive.
Woo!
That could change any day now.
Let's move on to the 6-woman tag team match. Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka versus Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. Now, I think we need Bayley, Dakota, and Sky to go over on this. They can't lose this. And I think Bayley needs to be the one to pin Belair. They need this win.
I 100% agree with you.
If they want to be taken serious,
to be a legitimate faction, they have to win. And if you want to establish Bayley as a threat to Bianca's title reign, it would go really good if she pinned Bianca in this match.
Yeah.
Because coming out of this feud, clearly Bianca Belair is going to probably go back to singles competition with somebody challenging her for the title. And if Bayley gets the pin, then there's your natural next feud.
Yeah.
Bayley comes out, hey, I pinned you at Clash at the Castle. I should be the number one contender.
Yeah, and I don't see Alexa and Asuka hanging out together much longer either.
No.
So yeah, I definitely agree that the heels go over. I hadn't thought about who gets the Duke over who, though. That makes a lot of sense what you're saying. Bayley pinning Bianca would be a solid choice.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to. Alexa Bliss is another one who hasn't had a title run in a long time, just like Kevin Owens. Just hasn't been just in the world title picture. Just really, I mean, I don't know what their plans are with Asuka after this, but I don't. Do you guys see Alexa Bliss staying face after this going forward, or her going back to a heel gimmick, or the goddess, being taken a little bit more serious, going for that title eventually, or do you guys see them being together for the tag? Not even for the tag team division. I mean, we got enough women now again that the roster seems pretty full for the tag team division.
It wouldn't have bothered me if they just scrapped the whole thing and added a women's secondary title instead.
Oh yeah,
that's what I've been saying for the longest.
Yeah, I think
we're never gonna.
That's what I would have done.
It would have been nice. It would have been perfect.
Yeah, I've been saying that for the longest. This women's division is full enough that it's not even so much that they could do it. They need to have mid-card titles in the women's division. Yeah, you got way too many women now with nothing to do.
But they're with all these thrown together tag teams, though, if they add a secondary title now, there's going to be too many titles. I feel like.
Yeah.
Not really.
I kind of wish they scrapped the tag titles.
Honestly, I don't think it's. Well, yeah, I would agree with scrapping the titles in favor of individual titles, but I think you can still have secondary women's titles, a mid-card women's title, and still have the tag titles. Because the tag titles is really only going to tie up 2 women on either roster, considering there's only one of them, which means it can be defended on Raw or SmackDown. Right. So you're going to tie up at most maybe 4 other women, maybe one tag team from Raw, one tag team from SmackDown at most, or 2 if they're embroiled in a feud with one other tag team. And then you still have a roster full of women with nothing to do if they're not in the main title picture. So I think it's still perfect fertile ground for women's mid-card titles. I mean, hell, if the men are out here juggling, the WWE title and Universal title and United States title and Intercontinental title and Raw tag titles and SmackDown tag titles, the women can easily handle a Raw, SmackDown women's champion and a Raw and SmackDown women's television champion, or whatever you want to call it for the mid-card, and a singular tag team title. I think they can easily handle that.
I think the men have too many titles also, but that's a whole other discussion.
There was talk about them redesigning a bunch of titles, and I'm like, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, do them all. Do them, new tag team titles. I fucking hate the Intercontinental title. Like, bring back some classic designs.
No. Let go of the past. Let go of that nostalgia.
To establish a new era,
I get it. I don't want any more fucking spinny belts, though. I'm not saying if you're gonna bring back classics, bring back a spinny belt.
No, but those old titles have their legacy. They have their time. They had their legacy. Let them stay where they're at. I'm all for redesigning some title. The only one title I think needs a redesign is the Intercontinental title, because it just looks cheap as shit right now.
What about the tag titles? I don't like the tag titles.
I don't like them either.
I'm not opposed to a redesign of them, but I don't hate their current design either.
I don't like the world titles.
I think
so. What?
World titles are just a fucking WWE logo. You know what I mean? Like,
I think for the Universal, I think they should get rid of the Universal and bring back the World title, just because of the prestige and the history with it. But I never liked the blue strap.
Triple H is a big fan of that belt anyway, right?
Yeah, I could see him bringing that back, presenting it to somebody, just giving it to him. That'd be fun.
Why don't we save the that stuff until the world title match when we talk about that?
Oh yeah,
because that might be something that might happen.
Anything else to finish up on this match? I mean, yeah, I think Bayley and her group is going to go over with this 6-woman tag match. I mean,
yeah, they're definitely going to win, and yeah, I agree. They're definitely going to win, and I think the best finish would be for Bayley to pin Bianca.
Right.
Clean. Well, I wouldn't say clean, but for her to pin Bianca, whether it's clean or interference or whatever.
Yeah. Go on,
yeah, that's a great idea. I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
All right. Well, before we move on to the main event here, let's take a pause for the cause, because I want to take a bathroom break. So,
heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you come out here and you talk with that big, loud, almost comical, tough guy voice. Sometimes you wear a kilt, sometimes you have a sword. You think this is medieval times? But now you just proved to me and everybody in that locker room that you're delusional, because if you think you've been carrying anybody else's weight around here, you're a real dumbass. I think you don't know who the hell you are, but me, I've been the same person my entire 22-year career. I have known exactly what I am and who I am. I am Kevin Owens, and I am as real as it gets in this business. But it seems the past few years, some people like you, may have forgotten what it is I'm about. And look, that's my fault, right? Because for the last couple of years, I've been having a good time coming to work and having fun. But then something dawned on me earlier today when I got to this arena. I actually got goosebumps because I realized that this is the very same arena where at Battleground, Sami Zayn and I had the fight of our lives and left everything we had in that ring. We gave people a match they still talk about 6 years later. And then I realized, you know what? There's a side of me that's been missing for far too long. And I miss that side. I miss the old Kevin Owens. I think it's time to bring back the Kevin Owens that people called the prize fighter. And Drew, I haven't held a title in WWE for 5 long years. But enough is enough, and it's time for a change. So now, I am coming after everything. Every single champion is a target. The U.S. champion, the Intercontinental champion, the tag team champions. And Drew, I don't give a damn if it's you or Roman Reigns. Whichever one of you walks out of Cardiff champion has got a hell of a problem. Because I'm coming after the biggest prize of them all, and that's the undisputed WWE Universal title.
Okay. I'll let you say your piece. And quite frankly, Drew McIntyre's going to have to respond. I'm sick of people making stuff up just to get a cheap reaction. Saying things like Drew McIntyre not carrying the load, not knowing who he is. I know exactly who the hell I am. Someone recently called me the Chosen One. I was the Chosen One 15 years ago. Then I got fired. Then I had to work my ass off, earn my way back to this company. I didn't call WWE. They called me, and I've worked my ass off every day since. I'm a 2-time champion. I beat Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, Randy Orton, everyone that stood in my path. Don't you dare look me in the eye and pull that BS again. Now I think it's time for Owens and McIntyre to stop talking. I don't care if you're a prize fighter, a sports entertainer, a superstar. We're wrestlers in a wrestling ring. Let's just freaking wrestle.
Well, let's talk about this Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. The main event. I don't think we're going to have Roman Reigns come out with Paul Heyman. I don't think we're going to have him come out with the Usos. I feel like this is going to be just him. And we saw that recently in the past few weeks that, we haven't seen Paul Heyman since the last pay-per-view. Since, Brock put him out. And the Usos have been kind of doing their thing with Sami Zayn right now. So I don't know if we're going to even see them come out with him. I mean, it's not even needed, to be honest. Because...
Well, we haven't seen him since SummerSlam, right?
Yeah.
Paul Heyman? Yeah.
Yeah. And, I see that's where, the cracks of his Roman Empire are starting to happen. And, they really got me believing that Drew is going to take the belt or belts. I mean, is he taking... It's a singles match for the undisputed WWE Universal title, so I'm guessing both. And I really am believing that Drew's going to win it. But I feel like they're going to make me feel like a dumbass and then just have... After all this build-up, especially with these video packages and the promos and all these beatdowns, it just... Is this just another wrestler being fed to Roman until WrestleMania?
Well, you got so many moving parts here, man.
I know.
And I hope
so many directions.
this doesn't become this overbooked fucking just mess. Which I think there's a possibility of this becoming a totally overbooked mess. You got Killer or Karrion Kross, whatever the hell his name is, Karrion Kross out there.
Yeah.
You got the You got, like you said, you got the Sammy Uzos, Kevin Owens thing going. Here's my prediction for the show. We're going to see Tyson Fury. I don't know in what capacity. He might just be in the crowd, or he might come down to the ring. If you remember back to the last time they did a stadium show in the UK, Lennox Lewis came out with the Bulldog. Right. So maybe Tyson Fury comes down with Drew McIntyre. I don't know. I think we're going to see Tyson Fury. You got to wonder, are they going to split the titles up somehow? Are they going to do some weird thing where they both pin each other and then they give one guy one belt and the other guy the other belt? Is there going to be Paul Heyman trickery? You mentioned Paul Heyman. Is he gonna? Is Drew gonna win both belts? But then on Monday, Paul Heyman says, "Well, you know what? This match was actually only for the one of the titles. You should have read the fine print." And and that's how they split them up. But as you said, at the end of the day, I think the WWE is all about making moments, and things that they can show for the rest of time. And because Drew McIntyre's title, original title came in the empty Performance Center, that bullshit, horrible WrestleMania, the COVID mania. I think he finally gets his due. I think it's going to be the biggest pop you've heard in a long, long time. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Drew goes over. It's just a matter of how it goes down. That I don't know, because there's so much shit on the table here. Yeah. And I really hope it doesn't turn into just a schmoz with fucking 900 people in the ring going crazy. I hope we get a decent match out of this somehow.
Dre,
or Drew cut somebody's head off with that stupid ass sword. Either way.
Right. Dre, what do you want to see out of this?
I honestly don't know how it's going to go. I think it's 50-50 either way. Because, the word is that Triple H isn't big on part-time champions, which would point you in the direction of thinking that he's finally going to take the title off Roman Reigns. But I don't know if he's going to do it now or if he's going to save it for another show down the road. All signs kind of point towards Drew being it because I don't really see anybody else on the roster that could take down Roman Reigns at the moment. I don't think he would put Karrion Kross in that position as being the guy to take down Roman Reigns because he may have come back with a lot of fanfare, but he's still too new for something like that. And it hasn't even established himself as a wrestler back with the fans yet. And Bobby Lashley is tied up in the U.S. title scenario right now, which oddly enough is not being defended at this pay-per-view at all. But, I guess that kind of makes sense. No U.S. title defended at pay-per-view taking place in the U.K., but it is what it is.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That is a good point.
Yeah, it is what it is. I understand it, but... And we've had plenty of pay-per-views in the past where the U.S. title, the last couple of ones, the U.S. title was on the line and the Intercontinental took the back seat. So, it balances itself out.
Right.
But yeah, back to the match. All signs point towards it. Point towards Drew winning. But man, I still think it's 50-50. I think it could go either way.
Yeah, that's my reservation. I think it's so obvious that Drew's going to win. Maybe he won't win.
And I also have a hard time seeing the bloodline with the Usos as champions and Roman Reigns not.
Yeah, you figured whenever that broke up, that
right. You would think the Usos would drop first, and then Roman Reigns would fall. Mm-hmm. It would seem weird seeing the bloodline come out and the Usos are holding titles
now,
and Roman Reigns is sitting there with no belts.
Here's what I'm thinking.
That's why I think Kevin Owens is on the short list to maybe get involved in this because of the him and Sammy thing. I think him and Sammy.
Say too, Andrews. I think we're building up for a Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens reuniting and tag team champions for the first time.
I totally agree.
Think how big of a fucking pop that would be. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it has to be specifically anywhere, but I think just them getting back together, because Sammy's gonna get booted from the bloodline eventually.
Yeah, but they also seem to be building up Kevin Owens as a backup, building him back up as a solo, as a singles wrestler. So I don't know if they want to.
Well, he did say
they're going to throw him
go
into
for
it.
any title: the United States, Intercontinental, the tag team. He did say any title. He did say tag team.
It's possible.
I mean, who else do you right now?
Has he been tag team? Where is he on the Grand Slam list? What does he have to cross off?
WWE title? He's only won the Universal.
I think that counts. Has he won one of the secondary belts? Either of them?
He's won the Intercontinental in the United States.
Right. Has he been tag champion? I don't think so.
Yeah, he's been tag champ, I believe. But yeah, I don't think he's won both of the world titles. Like he didn't win the WWE title, just the Universal, because then his title run was ended by Goldberg.
Oh God. Jesus, why?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he beat Seth Rollins for it too. I think he was.
Yeah, that sounds like it could be right.
Pedigreed by Triple H. That's how we got the Seth Rollins face turn.
Yeah. You're right.
But yeah, I mean, I just saw a promo that Drew McIntyre dropped the other day, and it just like a video package, and it was just so believable. Like, this guy is going to fucking do it, and it means so much. Like, we're talking like 730 days as champion, Roman Reigns has been. I mean, and also, like, once we get both of these titles, like, where do we go? Like, do we still keep two titles? Do we merge them as one finally? Like, I really hope that they decide, because I know I heard that, I think it was USA Network was complaining that they don't have a main champion. Because right now, the United States champion is their main champion.
Yeah, it's pretty much the only real singles title they have right now, because Roman Reigns is primarily a SmackDown star.
They really need to either merge them and have the champion appear on both shows, or they need to split them up again.
Yeah.
Frankly, I think I prefer the former. I think I would prefer one world champion that appears on both shows, and anybody can go after him. But that was why I think that maybe there will be some trickeration here somehow, and we wind up with Drew only winning one of the titles somehow.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of intrigue, and like I said, intrigue is the name of the game. You know, this shit has been so predictable for so long, and finally it isn't. You know, there's a lot of this could go a lot of different ways. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got a worst case scenario for you, right? Drew McIntyre wins, right? Usos come out, beat him down. Sami Zayn comes out, beats him down, right? Austin Theory music hits.
Yeah, oh yeah, you got the specter of that over the whole.
I mean, that could happen. That would suck so bad.
And if he cashes in, if he cashes in, which title is it for? Is it for both? Or is it for only one?
You know, exactly. That's where it starts getting technical. Like, yeah, like either way, like it could.
I think until they say otherwise, any title match is for both.
Yeah.
Until they specify otherwise.
Yeah, I think you're right. So I mean that would really
the whole point
really
point of what they did at WrestleMania was a title unification.
Yep.
So
I mean, yeah,
they're basically being treated as a single title right now. He's just rocking two belts because they haven't either come up with a single title or redesign, whether they're going down that route or if they decide to drop that and go back to two separating the titles. But for now, it's basically one title.
Yeah.
Just being represented by two belts.
And how we discussed earlier with them just maybe redoing some designs for the titles, like that's probably where they could end up doing it, is like eventually the tag team and the world titles get redone into one title. I mean, after this, who knows? But yeah,
I for one, and I guess proven that I'm the old timer here. I would like to see one world champion that's on both shows.
Yeah.
That's what I would prefer instead of splitting the titles back up. I think having 2 world champions is stupid. I always have. I would rather see one world champion that's defended in both places.
The only thing is that champion is going to be on the road a hell of a lot longer and more than everybody else on that roster because he has to appear on both shows.
Right. He has to appear on both shows unless he's embroiled in a feud with one particular person. Then the primary appearances are going to be on that one brand, which is still going to leave the other brand lacking without a champion for at least a month or more, depending on how long a feud carries on. Like, if Drew becomes the champion and he's the singular unified champion and he gets into a feud with Seth Rollins or something like that, he's obviously going to be spending most of his time on Raw, and that's going to leave SmackDown hanging.
That's a fair point.
So, I mean, as much as having a single champion, have a single one guy at the top does carry more weight and more prestige, like you are the guy in the company, I just don't know how practical it is right now. I think at least for the immediate future, it's probably still best for them to have 2 titles, and maybe they can revisit unifying the titles again, maybe down the line.
Yeah, but
I think they also kind of just tried that, and I don't I almost feel like Roman Reigns may have caught them by surprise by deciding to become a part-timer. It almost feels like that because I feel like if they had known in advance that Roman Reigns was going to be a resort or dial back to a part-time schedule, I don't know that they would have made him the unified champion in the first place. Not saying that they would have done it to Brock Lesnar either, because Brock has clearly been established as part-timer, but
they've had every opportunity in the world to get the belt off of him, though. But back in the day, you only had one champion too. I mean, I guess you didn't have the brands.
I was say back in the day, you also had a much smaller roster too.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, you could afford to do that. Yeah, because
you're going to have one world title.
Yeah, back in the day, it was the whole roster that went on each show, went from Raw to SmackDown.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and like as much as, like I said, and I like having the concept of a single champion, like I said, that one guy at top. I just don't know that it's practical in the way the WWE is currently structured.
Right.
And I think they've kind of learned that lesson after trying this unification thing with Roman Reigns in WrestleMania. They're like, okay, this ain't working out as well, especially with the guy being part-time. Now, they may try to give it one more go with Drew as it and see if we actually have a full guy on the roster. Can we make the unified thing work and put the one guy at the top? Who knows? They may try that to see if they can make it work with a full-time wrestler.
Yeah, I just can't see how they're going to run this UK show and not have the UK guy come out, at top at the end. I can't see it.
Well, one of them is going to win, either Sheamus or Drew or both. One of those two is definitely going to win because you got to get that UK pop.
Yeah.
Well,
you got to get that pop for the hometown.
Not the UK.
Close enough. Close enough. Damn it, he's going to be the hometown babyface in that match between him or Gunther.
I think they'll both win, frankly. But yeah, I don't see how they end the show with Drew losing. I feel like the place will, those because they're all soccer fans too. I feel like they'll tear the arena apart. If their guy doesn't win.
Yeah. Sour ass fans. We could definitely see that.
You risk a real bloodbath.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to go out, if they want to end the pay-per-view on a high, or the PLE, the premium live event, if they want to end that on a high, then yeah, it would obviously point towards Drew getting the win.
I mean, it's been 30 years since they've done this, and and Davey Boy won the last time. It's what a shame Davey Boy isn't around for this.
Yeah, that was an Intercontinental title match though.
It was correct
versus Bret Hart.
Yep, and it was a great match.
Oh yeah, it was. I remember it.
What a shame that Davey could be the timekeeper or something. You know what I mean? Just something. He'd only be like 60. That's a shame.
Unfortunate. On the subject of that, do you think anybody on this pay-per-view gets a bigger pop than the Road Warriors did at that show back in '93? I think it was '93, was it?
If Drew
at
wins.
Winnipeg?
'92.
Not Winnipeg. Fucking Wembley Stadium.
Wembley, yeah.
Yeah. Does anybody on this show get a pop as big as the Road Warriors got at Wembley?
Well, does anybody ever get a pop as big as a? I mean, there's literally a thing called the Road Warrior pop. You know, like, does anybody get that pop anywhere? I think the pop for Drew is going to be astronomically, ridiculously huge.
Yeah,
huge. Huge. Like he's already a fucking white hot baby face anyway, and he's coming home essentially, close to home anyway. I think that's going to be a fucking blow the roof off kind of pop, and I think I think they want to make it up to him because of WrestleMania, whatever number it was in when he beat Brock Lesnar in the Performance Center to the pins dropping. You know what I mean? They've built the guy up. He's done everything they've wanted him to do. He's been there. He's been there day in, day out.
Right.
I think they owe it to him. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. And
yep.
this is going to be
very strong argument.
Be a place. This would definitely be the place for it. You know.
And my only reservation in saying that is that it's too predictable. So
right.
You know, like, and every time I've been like, oh, this is where they're going to have Roman lose. He doesn't. Oh, this is obviously where Roman's going to lose, and he doesn't. So that's the back of my mind still. Tick, tick, tick. You know, like.
Yeah, but sometimes the obvious choice is the right choice.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I think it's a chance for Triple H to make his first big moment. You know what I mean? It's not a WrestleMania moment per se, but it's a moment. Right. You know, and it's one of those things that they can show for the rest of time. You know, this crowd going crazy while their hometown guy raises both belts above his head.
Oh, yeah. It may not be a WrestleMania moment, but given the crowd and the location and the circumstances, it can rise to the level of being a WrestleMania-type moment.
Yeah, sure. You know, back in the day, they used to call those water cooler moments, you know, the stuff you would talk about at work the next day at the water cooler. And I think that's probably what they're going to try to go for, would be my guess.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I'm hoping for. Because I tell you what, if that happens, I want to mark out. I'm gonna pop in my house. I'm gonna be like, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna be pretty psyched if that happens. But I mean, I can't get my hopes up because going into something like that, you can't get your hopes up because we could totally be let down and all be sent home disappointed. It's happened before.
It's happened before.
Yeah, but we need to remember that was Vince.
I know. That's what I'm thinking to myself. That was Vince Man.
Yeah, that's the biggest amongst all of this. That is all the biggest X factor. Is Triple H? Is he going to do the same old tried and true, or not say true, but the same old traditional stuff that Vince would do, or is he really going to carve out his own path? And really lean in on that all the way.
I mean, it's crazy to think.
I think if he's dedicated to really carving out his own path and putting his stamp on it, then yeah, I think Drew walks out as champion.
It's crazy to think in 2022. Do you know who's running WWE right now? DX. Like that's who's running WWE. DX. Like, oh, that's fucking funny.
It's the McMahon Helmsley regime.
Yeah, that too. You can look at it like that too. But yeah, I mean that's all I really got for this episode. I mean, if you guys got anything else you want to talk about?
It's too bad Test couldn't be here to see this.
All right.
Because he was going to marry Stephanie, and then.
I see what you mean. Okay. Per canon storyline, I got you.
He's salty.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm still curious to know how they're gonna handle Cody Rhodes, because Cody Rhodes left when Vince was in charge.
That's a great question.
he did leave when Vince was in charge, but I don't think he doesn't. I don't know that Cody necessarily falls in the same category as like Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns and them as being like Vince guys.
Yeah, I mean he's over like Rover anyway, you know.
Right.
It's something. It would be real hard to deny him at this point.
Yeah, I don't see him coming back in Triple H being like, "You were a Vince guy, you're taking the back seat now, dude." Like, nah. I think he's still there. I still think they have every bit of plans of having him be one of the top baby faces in the company.
Yeah.
And whenever he comes back, he will be in the title picture in very short notice.
Yeah, and he'll definitely get it at some point.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, all right, guys. I mean, that's all I got. I'm thinking we're either going to come back and maybe review this after the pay-per-view, or I might move on to the next Ruthless Aggression one, which is WrestleMania 20. And then we are going to be heading into Extreme Rules, I believe.
I have that one on DVD.
That one's far away. Oh, the WrestleMania 20?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
I've got that on old double disc DVD. That was back when I was still buying WWE DVDs and stuff.
Remember that?
So, yep.
Remember buying
I
those
think
DVDs?
that was actually one of the last DVDs I bought.
How many discs was it?
Oh, I think it was 2 or 3. I'd have to find it.
They started getting
I know it definitely
and more
came
discs.
in like a book.
Yeah.
It didn't come in like a little regular, pack like most DVDs came in. It was a fold-out book, so it might have been 2 or 3 discs.
Yeah, I remember. I used to have a lot of WWE DVDs. I just couldn't believe how many documentaries and stuff I would buy, and then it's like, yeah, I'm buying this one because like this wrestler is at the end of his career. Like, this is gonna be the best documentary ever. Not knowing that.
I've got a bunch of those.
Yeah,
I
it's
have
like
a bunch of those. Like I've got like the Stone Cold What one. I've got the Rock Just Bring It. I've got the Ric Flair one they put out that I thought was going to be a comprehensive biography, and it was just a bunch of damn matches. And I got the Hulk Hogan one. I think I've got the Bret Hart one. Best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. Brock Lesnar Bring the Pain. I got the Road Warriors one. I don't know. Maybe I'll dig them out one day and take a picture of it and post it into Discord.
Yeah,
like my old collection.
Yeah,
I've got WrestleMania 18. I got a couple of the pay-per-views.
Right. Damn. Yeah, I don't have any. I don't think I have any more. Maybe I do. I gotta check myself. I have to go in my basement because like once the WWE Network came out, I was like, see ya, DVDs. Like I'm done. Like, like I just couldn't believe how much money. Like I used to go to Best Buy and FYE to get those like all the time, and now I can find them at like pawn shops and stuff.
Yeah, which is weird. Like I have WrestleMania 18 on DVD, and I've got WrestleMania 20. I don't know why I did not buy WrestleMania 19. Don't know why I didn't buy that one. That's the Kurt Angle Brock Lesnar one. I don't know why I didn't buy that one.
Oh, is that the botched shooting star press?
Oh yeah, one where Lesnar almost broke his fucking neck. Yeah.
Is that also the Hulk Hogan versus Vince?
19?
Is that after that?
I don't know.
Oh, I think that's after that, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Oh, that the only thing I really remember from WrestleMania 19 is the Lesnar Angle match. And I think maybe Jericho might have had a Jericho match.
Undertaker probably won.
I think Jericho Shawn Michaels was WrestleMania 19 as well. I think. Yeah. I think Jericho and Shawn Michaels was WrestleMania 19 as well. I think that was one of the ones where they said they stole the show. That was one of their first times wrestling, and I think it was a classic.
Rock, Stone Cold, or no, The Rock and Stone Cold.
Yeah, The Rock and Stone Cold with The Rock finally won.
Triple H versus Booker T. Jericho.
Oh, that bullshit. Yeah,
Michaels. Team Angle versus Benoit.
Triple H Booker T was low point.
Matt Hardy versus Rey Mysterio. Ooh, The Undertaker, who was supposed to be teamed up with Nathan Jones, but he defeated Big Show and A-Train in a handicap match. But yeah, the WrestleMania 20, which we will be reviewing, that is pretty.
Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle.
There's a lot of good matches
WWE
on the card.
title.
A lot of momentum changing. We're going to talk about like John Cena versus Big Show for his first title. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt
Eddie
Angle.
Guerrero, Kurt Angle, and then the triple threat: Benoit, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, and return
Undertaker returned as the dead man versus
return
Kane.
of a character. Yeah, so we got so much to cover in that pay-per-view. I mean, it's gonna be such a great episode to do, and it might even have to be like break it up into two pieces because WrestleMania ones are large, but I think we might be able to cover this one in one sitting because last time we did a WrestleMania, that was a 2-day event, but that's modern day WrestleMania. 2-day event. Jesus. But yeah, Dre, do you got anything you want to plug?
Nothing in particular. You can just find me in the PCW Discord, Outlaw Star.
Cool. And Andrew, what do you want to plug this week? Anything? Where can people find you?
Yeah, you'll find me in the Discord as well, or the Leftover Army page. And if you're listening to this on Thursday, September the 1st, it's the Backyard Brawl tonight, and fucking go Pitt. Fuck West Virginia.
All right. That's a nice plug. And if you want to find me anywhere, just type in Semi-Dry Chicken, and if you'll find me somewhere. So
there can't possibly be another one.
Yeah. Nope.
And his name is John Cena. Give me what I want. Give me what I want.
No, it's true. It's damn true.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Oh yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Bye. Have a great time.
And there's a fucking chicken on the sidewalk, just chilling. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where did this come from? Why is this here? What the fuck? So I live down the street from. This is gonna sound racist as fucked, I'm sure. I live down the street from this Asian supermarket where they butcher animals and stuff. So I'm like, oh, maybe this escaped from the supermarket.
Yeah.
I keep going with the dog, and I pass by the loading zone, and I'm like, hey, did you guys lose a chicken or something? And they're like, what? And I'm like, well, there's this chicken over here. So one of the guys comes over, he scoops it up and takes it off, and I go, all right, I guess that's the end of that. So then I go to walk the dog at night, and the chicken is there again, but this time it's half in a plastic bag. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? He's in the exact same spot. So, I have a dog crate, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm not returning this chicken to... I assume it's the same chicken. I don't know which would be weirder, if it was a different chicken or if it's the same chicken. But, so I got this dog crate. So, I cut the chicken out of I put some rubber gloves on. I cut the chicken out of the bag. I stick the chicken in the dog crate. I put some oatmeal, and some water in there. I throw a cover over it. And I'm like... I'll deal with this. I put it in the backyard. I got 2 cats and a dog. I'm like, they're gonna fucking kill this chicken. So the next day,
chickens can fight. Damn it, the chicken will fuck one of them up if it's on the size.
The next day, I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this thing? I can't keep it. It's actually illegal in Philadelphia to have a chicken as a pet, and I don't want to have a chicken as a pet anyway. Long story short, after 100,000 phone calls, I ended up sending it to this black-owned farm in West Philly that's like a teaching farm where they have kids come, city kids come and learn about animals and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, you're not going to slaughter this thing. It's going to live a nice, happy life. They're like, yep. I go, awesome, great. So it did have a happy ending. But it's like, what the fuck is this chicken doing on the sidewalk? I still don't know where it came from or how it got there.
Well, I'm glad it did have a happy ending after it went through all the trouble of escaping from that damn restaurant just for you to snitch his ass out.
Well, I don't think it came from there because they were like, what the fuck are you even talking about? But we'll take it.
Of course they're going to play dumb.
For some reason, they didn't want it because they returned it.
Nah, they were playing dumb. They don't need word getting out that they back there slaughtering live chickens and shit and feeding them up.
That's out in the open. I mean, you can when you go in, you can hear the chickens clucking. I mean, it's not like it's not like a secret.
And this one managed to escape and found freedom just for you to snitch on him.
Well, I got him. I got him out in a nice place. He's going to be well taken care of.
Then he went back in there.
From upstate.
Well, at first I was thinking, if I don't return this to them, I'm going to end up cleaning up its carcass when a car runs over it. Right? And I'd rather not do that.
I can imagine him being picked up that first night and he's just looking at you like, you motherfucker.
Well, it had a happy ending.
Went through the trouble of breaking out the second night, saw you again. He's like, shit.
This motherfucker, yeah.
That snitching ass motherfucker.
And then he brought that up.
This asshole left it. Somebody wrapped it up in a fucking plastic bag. And like it pecked its way out of it.
That was his final moment. Like, it's the now or never.
Yeah. Well,
oh my god.
He made a break for it.
He's happily living in West Philadelphia. So.
Born and raised.
Yep. I don't know if there's a playground or not, but
he collect all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. He lived his own version of that show, Prison Break.
Yeah.